How's it going, human family? Today, going to be doing some germinating of seeds. So I got a bunch of seeds I got to plant. I got a bunch of seeds I got to germinate. But for the purposes right now, we're going to do cucumber, some summer squash, tomato seeds, and 2 types of lettuce seeds. And so, this is all just to get prepared. As y'all know in the last video, we're preparing. And that's enough said about that. So, we're talking about germinating today. My experience, I am not an experienced gardener, so we're doing this together. This is a learning process for myself. You know, I've had plants before. I had a small garden. Last year, I didn't even garden at all. The year before, garden a little bit, not too much success, but we had some good plants growing. And now, we're going all in. We're really starting to learn the process. Everything's a process, and we're going to work the process. So, we're germinating. We got the 72 cells that just got at Home Depot. 72 different holes for, sowing our seeds. We'll start off. We'll start filling some of these holes with our gardening mix, also bought from Home Depot. We're going to be super straightforward about this because, we looked at a lot of different videos, and the more you get into this, it's so in-depth. Everything is. That's how life is. When you start getting better at things, you're able to refine, and you're starting to really perfect the art, the craft. Gardening, as well as everything, is an art, is a craft. And so, me personally, just starting out in this craft. So let's go ahead and get started. And so, from the research I've been doing, we're going to fill these bad boys up approximately 50% of the way, roughly. Running around. You don't want to pack them in. Don't want to keep it compact. I'm just trying to kind of spread them around. As you can see, I've already kind of overfilled some of these holes. So I gotta be a little bit more careful. I'll fill these up about 50%. We're only gonna do half this tray right now. Because one, we're not even gonna fill all these. I got a bunch of other seeds. Gotta get some labels, some other materials so we can label everything. After we get these bad boys about 50% of the way, we'll water them, get them wet. So we'll take our little watering can right here. Let's get these a little moist. Ooh, but not drown them. Oh, sweet berry. What's next? We got them trays that has the holes at the bottom. That way, hopefully, any extra watering that takes place right now will be able to just go at the bottom. We're going to fill these up some more. We're just going to get these a little wet. And once again, it's my first time doing it in a hot minute. So, if you're looking for an experienced gardener, this is not quite the place. But if you're looking to start a journey with somebody else who's starting the journey, hey, we're doing it together, okay? The key thing is we gotta get ready. We gotta start learning how to grow our food back, get back some of these skills. These important skills. Most of our food anyway is processed or filled with pesticides, herbicides, all types of pesticides. And this is one step in starting to get that sovereignty back, get that liberation, take control of our food. And it all starts somewhere. So we're starting right here, right now. All right. Now we got these bad boys filled up. Now, We'll give it a little bit more water. We'll try to be a little bit more careful this time. We really don't want to overwater these. So I'm going to be as gentle with the water as nice. Get some droplets going here. Oh, yeah. So much for not overfilling. We want to be moist, but not drowning. We're trying to avoid the drowning issue. So I think this might be a little enough water. A little extra. Some of these over here. Now I'm just pouring in my hand. So I get some of them droplets in there. And to be honest, that should be good enough. We're gonna find out. Alright. First, we'll open up our lettuce seeds. Now I don't have my label, so I got some tape and I got some paper. That's gonna be our temporary labels until I go get my labels and actually start to make it look better, more professional, have the sticks so I'm actually able to label each section more accurately. Now, some advice that we've been learning about sowing seeds. If you got a lot of seeds, like for example, this lettuce, they gave us a bunch of seeds. So we're gonna take each one of these little cells, we're gonna put a little hole in there. This hole is about 2 inches roughly deep. It's very gentle. Put that every cell. Just poking the finger through. It also helps me recognize which ones I plant too dense. Which ones have more of an airy type of feel to it. Because we gotta put a little bit more on top after we finish planting these seeds. So we're just putting little holes about 2 inches, I believe. Approximately 2 inches deep. Alright. We got holes ready for all our little seedlings. So, for today, we're only doing about 4, but I have a huge variety I really want to start getting into. So we're only going to do about, for the purposes of this video, we'll start with 6 cells. So in this, there's some seeds in my hand. We're going to try to put about 2 to 3 seeds in each one of these cells. There we go. You know, it says we'll do 2 to 3, but some of these got more like 4 or 5 to be honest. There's something I gotta work on. Alright. So these right here are gonna be for our lettuce. And we'll save the rest of the seeds because we got a lot more to plant later. We really want to learn this technique. It just saves you so much on starting from seed if you do it right. So it's definitely a skill you're going to perfect with time. Now we got a second batch of lettuce right here. We'll do another 6. And also, when doing this, definitely look at the back of the packets on the seeds. So we got seeds that will be able to be germinated and transplanted around the same amount of time. That was one piece of advice we picked up watching some of them great experts who know a lot more than I do about some of this, about the starting germinating process. And one piece of advice they really said, just try keep it so the seeds will grow at the same rate. Because you have some that grow maybe slower than the others. That will create issues with shading. They start to cover each other, things like that. And that was something I didn't even take into consideration, so I'm glad they said that. Okay. So I said 6. It's like we went for 9 instead of 6. Well, we have our leads done. Definitely will get some of that squash. I've grown squash in the past. That summer squash zucchini. And the zucchini grows so amazingly and so abundantly, especially in my climate, in that Colorado altitude. So definitely want to plant a couple of these guys. Also, a key thing they talked about, the size of the seed. So because those lettuce seeds were so tiny, we were able to put like 4. I should have did 2 to 4. I did more like 4 to 6. But I think that's gonna be okay. Because you can also, it's easier to remove. Not all of them will go germinate, not all of them will sprout. But with these bigger ones, like these guys right here, these things are massive. So we're only gonna do 1 per cell. Once again, this time we're doing actually 6. For right now, for purposes of this week. And next we're gonna hit these tomatoes. Get these tomatoes going. And we get as many with the tomato plants, with the tomato seeds. So they're pretty tiny too. We'll go ahead and plant like at least 2 to 4 in each one of these cells. Once again, we're aiming for 6 cells this time. Gotta work on my math. Apparently while I'm doing stuff, I get sidetracked. Okay. Now finally, we'll bust out our cucumber. I'm learning. You gotta really plan ahead when it comes to just the germinating process, because it takes a number of weeks. We'll see. So it's like each one, it says you on the back of each packet as well how many days it's gonna take for them to start germinating, and they really help you out on these packages. So that's very nice. Right now, I picked some that should start sprouting within 7 to 14 days. Oh, like these seeds. These are some nice seeds. So we'll probably plant only like 2 in each cell here. And probably just 1 in some of them. Yeah. We'll see how the 2 do in this one, but I think we'll just stick to the 1. And this one needs some more potting mix. Oh. We're going to be coming back up with more potting mix soon. Let's get them some space real quick. Boom. Okay. Now we got our seeds in place. Put these back. Alright, we got our lettuce over here. Oh, let me make sure I remember. We'll take some time to write that. Alright, so we have it labeled just so we don't forget by tomorrow. I will easily forget which ones are which. So now that we have our seeds, everything's planted. We gotta cover everything up with some more potting mix. We're gonna take 5 minutes. Go boom over the top. We're gonna spread it out nice and gently, covering everything nice and easily. Now, one thing that was pretty consistent was not to pack it down. We don't want it packed. We want it nice, gently covered. Just not packed. We don't want it so loose, but we don't want it packed down either. And so, now that everything is nice and covered, I got a little extra. I'm just gonna push them over to the additional cells when I fill those up tomorrow. And of course, I'll give y'all the update in the next video about those. But for today, we're just focusing on these. And so we're doing it outdoor. We're keeping it outdoor, outside. And so we're gonna set these basically where we're planning on planting them. Now it's covered. Don't want to pack it down, just keep it loose. All right, there we go. And so one last step, we'll give it just a little bit more water. All right. Now that we have our trays planted, one thing we'll double check, a little water at the bottom here. Want to make sure there's some water down here, so that it has some space to grow. Let's try it forward. Not too much water. Okay. And now we'll take this guy and we'll go ahead and put it in our garden. Okay. So we have our seeds. We're gonna leave them outside. We're just gonna do an outdoor seed sowing. I don't have a sub indoors. So we'll keep it simple. As well, one key aspect, just from the knowledge that I've been learning lately, we're gonna put them exactly where I'm gonna be setting up my little, we're gonna do a Hugo culture type of grow bed over here. So we're gonna see how that turns out. But this is the spot where it's gonna be at. So I'm gonna leave the seeds. Want to make sure that it's leveled so that the water can get to all the seedlings distributed properly. And yeah, we're basically gonna leave it here. We're gonna see if any birds or squirrels come and tear this up. And if so, we got a covering. We're gonna plan, kind of readjust, reassess, and make sure that, you know, our little seedlings are protected so they can grow into little baby plants, and we can give it the nurture, the love it needs so they can grow into big plants. And so that's going to complete our seed germination video. In the next video, I'm going to do a time lapse. I'm going to break down more about, you know, how I took care of the rest of the seeds, how I kind of got everything spread out, probably get some more trays. Because we definitely want to grow some plants this year. We've grown our own herbs, grown our favorite vegetables. And yeah, it's just an exciting time to start learning a new skill that's going to grow and develop and be well worth knowing. And so, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. That is going to complete our video. Everybody take care. I'll see you in the next video, and God bless.